Okay, so welcome to Handyman Connections webinar part 1. And we're going to get into several elements of the marketing today, and we're going to get into the history of the brand and talk a lot about a day in the life as well. So welcome. On this initial slide, this is really referring to how we're all connected. We're not just connected to our customers, but we're also connected as an organization. We're very synergistic, we're very collaborative, and we're very supportive. So there's a phrase in franchising. It's called in business for yourself, but you're never by yourself. So let's talk a little bit about the industry. We're in a $300 billion industry that's actually growing exponentially, actually, as we speak. And the reason for that is back in the day, I'm 41 years old, back in the day that my grandfather, his father, and the father before him were actually buying homes and fixing them up back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, and even the early 70s, and even into some of the 80s. People were still a little bit doing the work themselves. But as we progress into this new millennial generation, everybody's outsourcing the work, basically. 30% of our market share are seniors, and then you have your dual income families, your working adults who all are outsourcing the work. If you'd have told my great-grandfather that you were hiring somebody to fix the water heater, he would probably get pretty upset with you. But that's just not the case anymore. And then we also have our single moms that just cannot do the work anymore. So it's essentially really a demographic these days that don't have the tools, the time, or the talent. And that's a great thing for our business. Because what that does is it really opens up a massive market share, okay, and a really high opportunity for repeat business. So this business has a very, very fast ramp up. My owners are projected to be doing business and generating revenue their first month out of the gate at training right when they launch, okay? You start even recruiting your craftsmen in training. So very high opportunity for repeat business. My owners right now are projecting 50% or greater of their businesses their second year are repeat and referral. And that generously can help your marketing budget as well, as you can imagine. We have very low overhead for this business. So not too many employees to start, but as the business scales, you do need to have more employees. Okay, to run about $1 million business, you need anywhere between 7 to 9 craftsmen. But it's very low overhead. We do require one small commercial space. It is not a fancy retail storefront. It is not a strip mall. It is anywhere between a 300 to 800 square foot office in an industrial park somewhere. It's basically just commercial space. There are 3 specific reasons why you need to have a commercial space, and I'll go over them with you throughout the webinar series, but I'm also going to share a little bit with you right now. So essentially, the office is required so that we can really help to cultivate the business to get to the first page of Google for the search engine for marketing purposes. It's almost next to impossible to get a business to land on the first page if it's an in-home office. So that's number 1 reason. Number 2, you are interviewing craftsmen. You cannot never hire a craftsman over the phone. You must interview them to make sure they're presentable for customers and they're applicable to represent your business. And in doing so, you cannot interview them out of your home. That's not a safe approach, okay? And the third reason is your craftsmen need to have an office that they can actually be held accountable to. They will need to report to you for meetings sometimes. They will need to come into the office and drop off cash to you from time to time, even though we're predominantly a credit card processing business. Your craftsmen sometimes they'll need to bring you cash because you'll have some elderly customers and just some customers that will every now and then pay you cash, okay? You start off with 1, and you might want to write this down for me, 1 CSR, which stands for Customer Service Representative. That will be in your office as a 40-hour-a-week employee running the day-to-day. And then you will start off and start recruiting them in training, about 3 to 5 craftsmen or 5 to 6, depending on your comfort level during training. And theoretically, you should have them almost all hired, if not hired very soon thereafter your launch, okay? And we will go over the elements applicable to that as we talk about your training curriculum. We have no inventory, or we don't house any materials in the office. We actually purchase our materials on an as-needed basis, and we don't harbor any inventory in your offices. It's actually more cost-effective to purchase materials from all the local vendors on an as-needed basis. Now, as your business is seasoned with us, you will have remnants from time to time and maybe some tool or two or something in the office. But for the most part, you're not housing any inventory in the office. And this is a very scalable business model, and one of the biggest reasons for that is because of the massive market share. Okay, there's just a huge need for what we do. Harvard University just did a study that home improvement and home repair and remodeling needs are growing exponentially year over year. And a lot of it has to do with the elements that we discussed a little bit earlier, that I brought up earlier in the webinar. So again, very scalable business model, but you want to scale with stability and really learn the business and really allow us to support you. But the good news is that we provide a significant amount of support. We try to take as much off of your plate as possible in support to allow you to focus on running a profitable business. On the left-hand side, that is actually one of our, kind of a great example of one of our kitchen remodels. That's actually a real remodel that we did. And it attributes to our core competency. So our core competency is to go into a home built in 1960, 1970, 1980, and we're going to modernize it, okay? The best margins in this industry is the small to medium home repair and remodel, okay? So we're not targeting jobs that are $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 redos and demolitions of kitchens. That is not the jobs we're targeting. In fact, like I said, your best margins are in the small to medium home repair and remodel. So we're upgrading, we're modernizing, okay? We're also doing a plethora of other things for customers. Now, it's not to say that you won't go into a home built prior to 1960, 1970, or 80, but you just want to be mindful that in an older home, you're going to have older electrical and older plumbing, and we will teach you how to address some of that. But essentially, you just want to be aware of an older home, but there's still a lot of work that you can do in an older home. So no reason to be intimidated by it, but just be aware. On the right-hand side, this is our franchisees out of Westchester County, New York. They are actually asked to be on the Rachel Ray Show, about 45 minutes or so outside of the city. And this is just a testament to our brand awareness. I really look forward to the future. This brand is getting a ton of attention. We're really creating quite a niche for ourselves out there and a much needed commodity for customers to provide them with the reliable, professional home service needs that they desperately need. So I'm really looking forward to the future and really seeing this brand even becoming a much bigger household name. So that's exciting. So having said that, we've been around a while. We've been around since 1992. That's when the year we were founded. We're actually founded by two businessmen in Cincinnati, Ohio. They were on the board of a large condo association, and they were having trouble finding reliable work and reliable and dependable workers. So they decided to found Handyman Connection, which was a wonderful idea. We were the first ever franchise in 1993. Those two original owners named Art and Marvin were actually in their 80s when they sold the business to us. Our new owner, president, and CEO took over in around 2010. We've completed over 2 million jobs. And we also have done a ton of re-engineering and restructuring to create a newer business model to reflect the times. So back in the day, the only way we used to advertise for this business was Valpaks and Yellow Pages. As you can imagine, those days are pretty much gone. We still do a little bit of that, but for the most part, those days are pretty much gone. Little history about Art and Marvin as well. They actually were great businessmen, but they sold a little too large of territories. So for example, we used to have two people that own the state of Florida. That is just not conducive for success. So we've been really carving the territories down as those two owners retired. We carved the territories down, making them much more manageable and conducive. And now our territory size is a minimum of around 100,000 households. So the restructuring and reengineering was also applicable to instituting all the technology and the marketing that we utilize today, which is resulting in our owners, reflective upon the new business model, doing exceptionally well. So all these changes have been extremely profitable and good for the brand, and that's why we've also been ranked the #1 handyman company in North America by Qualified Remodeler magazine to go into people's homes. So that's pretty exciting. We have two revenue streams, both residential and commercial. Residential is the bulk of what we do. You'll have plenty of work right out of the gate of training, a lot of repeat business, and commercial will be introduced to you probably towards the end of the first year. And the reason for that is because commercial is a very different dynamic. You may not be paid for a commercial project for a net 30, net 60, net 120 days. So it's important as the executive leader of the business to make those really, really good financial decisions when taking on a commercial project. We will certainly teach you all the elements around that. But again, some of my owners do a lot of commercial, some of them doing a little, and some of them don't do a lot for that reason. But We do have a pretty high repeat and referral business on commercial side as well, and it can be very lucrative. But again, just as the owner, you want to exercise really good decision making on commercial. But what's nice is that we actually don't restrict you to your territory on commercial. So let's say that you get a really nice commercial relationship with, let's say, Arby's, for example, and Arby's has 8 locations and 4 of them are in another territory. You can actually cross territory to facilitate that commercial relationship. Let's say Arby's wants you to redo all their bathrooms over the next 12 months. Well, you can cross territory to facilitate and to take care of that commercial relationship. Okay, but again, we will teach you best practices on commercial. Our brand platform, again, we're all connected, okay, which leads me to our core purpose. We are in the relentless pursuit of building meaningful lifetime relationships. So we want you back in that home up to 4 to 6 times per year, taking care of all of the customer's home improvement needs. The average customer has between 8 and 10 things they need done in the home at all times. So our vision to be the lifetime connection for all of our customers' home improvement needs, and our core competency to consistently connect skilled service professionals to customers with a variety of small to medium home improvement needs at the local level. So essentially, we used to be a part of First Service Brands. We're now independent, but Service Brands umbrella consists of companies such as this: California Closet, CertaPro Painters, College Pro Painters, Paul Davis Restoration, Collier's Commercial Real Estate, Floor Covering International, and Pillar and Post Home Inspection. Okay, all of which we still have great relationships with. And then you are definitely going to start to develop some what we call strategic partnerships in your local community of companies that you will develop relationships with for referrals. So essentially, you will refer business to these companies. These companies will refer you business of things that they do not do. And if something happens to be outside of your bandwidth for whatever reason, you can refer to these companies. And again, they'll refer lots of handyman home repair work that they don't do to you. Okay. In specific, companies like Floor Covering International, like a roofing company, for example. We don't do roofs because insurance premiums would be much too high for our owners, so we do not put our craftsmen on the roof. But you'll get to know roofing companies, and you'll refer them some work, and with a project that you get that maybe includes a roof, and then they will refer projects back to you for stuff they don't do. So it becomes pretty nice to have these connections in the community, and it's very reflective and can be very profitable for your business. So we'll definitely help you understand that and teach you more about those things as well. So the strategy is customers for life, market penetration. Technology leadership. The good news is we've already done the technology leadership all for you, and we will continue to do our best to support in technology, as technology is an ever-evolving tool that will continue to make our owners that much more efficient. And again, we're the only brand in the industry that has the technology that we have. There's a small handful of brands that do operate in our space. None of them have the technology that we have. So it's pretty exciting. I'll be going over significant aspects of the technology in part 2. Our core values is to deliver on our commitments, respect the connections, have pride in what we do, and practice continuous improvement. I can tell you that it feels really good to be a part of a brand and be a part of a home office team where my suggestions I have watched be implemented. That's a pretty good thing. We're not perfect. We're always looking to improve. We also have what is called franchisee brand champions, which are a group of franchisees which offer suggestions to us at all the time. No better to take suggestions from our franchisees out in the field. So again, we're a brand that's always looking to improve. For the 4th year in a row, we've been rated the #1 handyman company that goes into customers' homes in North America by Qualified Remodeler magazine. It's essentially kind of the Sports Illustrated for the remodeling industry, and they go through a pretty hefty criteria and guideline to be able to rate their businesses and their companies. And so we're pretty proud to hold a very high spot. There are reasons for that, which essentially you will see in the course of your due diligence with us. But for the most part, we have the right people in place, we have great systems, and finally our customers have a reliable company that they can go to. We also have 5 systems, which leads me right to talk about our systems, 5 systems in place to help our owners run, manage, and ultimately scale a very profitable business. So let's go over those systems, and of course we will get into that much deeper throughout the webinar. But marketing and branding, that's primarily done for you. You spend about 1 to 2 hours a week on marketing when you first start, and we take care of the rest. We are going to provide to you a minimum of 1,600 leads your first year. I can safely tell you that you're probably going to have more leads than you can handle. So that's what we call a quality problem. So customer acquisition is not the issue at all. Thankfully, we're in an extremely healthy economy for this industry right now. There's actually more of a need than the industry can keep up with, if you can believe it. We also have a call center. Our call center is in place to help significantly reduce overhead costs, and they're out of Charleston, South Carolina, and they do a lot more than just answer the phones for you. We'll talk about them. We'll also, of course, talk about our technology and then craftsman recruiting as well. The bottom line is craftsmen are the cornerstone of what we do. We find them and we keep them. We have very strong leverage points that retain them. I'm not saying a craftsman is never going to leave you throughout the course of running your business. But we don't have the kind of turnover like retail stores or fast food restaurants. And I still have a craftsman that's been with us for 22 years in Cincinnati. And then, of course, training and support. Okay, so we provide plenty of training for you, about 6 weeks of very extensive training in the beginning, and then, of course, continue to support you throughout. We actually stay pretty close to you, especially the first year in support. So we are linear focused on customer experience. That's actually one of our biggest differentiating factors out in the marketplace. And so we really hold dear to these, what we call the 6 critical connections. You'll hear these terms, these words brought up a lot, not only through your due diligence, but if you come to Discovery Day and meet us. And then, of course, if you became an owner, you're going to hear these a lot, and we hold dear to them. And so we're going to be in touch with your customer up to 6 times before, during, and after the job to help ensure and solidify that customer relationship for you, and also help you acquire those new customers. So we cultivate, we contact, we confirm, we commit, we complete, and we connect. We also do mystery shops. So throughout the course of the year, we might do a couple mystery shops to really uncover, as a company, as an organization, our strengths and weaknesses out there. So again, we're always looking to improve. So it's important that we uncover our strengths and weaknesses out there. So we do that as well. We're also affiliated with a metrics called NPS. It stands for Net Promoter Score system. It's actually a metrics that measures customers' feedback to fuel profitable growth. So I'm not sure if you've ever heard of this before in your past career, but NPS is used predominantly by most Fortune 500 companies such as Apple, Nordstrom's, Costco, Netflix, American Express, Southwest Airlines, all utilize an NPS system. And essentially, our scores as an organization are anywhere between a 68 and a 72%. Now, just to give you an idea of how good that is, Apple's scores about 6 months ago were 73%. Now, we're certainly not better than Apple Computer, nor are we comparable to them, but we're certainly proud, darn proud of our scores in this industry. And pretty much if a company score is 75% or greater, they're pretty much perfect. So I have yet to hear of a company that scored a 75. So if you ask probably any one of my owners during validation, they probably could tell you what their NPS score is. So we really hold dear to scoring so well. And NPS also rated us the #1 handyman company that goes into customers' homes in North America as well. Reputation management is a kind of a fancy word in the kind of the digital marketing world for basically monitoring what is said about you online to support the integrity of your business, and they also respond back to customer reviews as well. We partner up with a great company called Web Punch, and they assist you in doing just that. So essentially, we're in a service business. We're not going to please everyone 100% of the time, no matter how hard we try. So for the most part, this company will alert you as to really keeping you abreast of how your review status is doing in your community. So for example, they'll also alert you if customers have a frustration that sometimes, and for the most part, you can actually step in as the owner. Maybe you make a phone call, maybe you drive over there and shake the customer's hand and essentially send your team in to fix the problem. Usually it's minor frustrations that can be easily diffused by a simple sending your team back in there to fix it. So for example, we do offer a warranty around all of our work for a year if you purchase the materials. However, it's in all of the years of Handyman Connection being in business, we've only had a couple owners that have had to exercise a warranty. For the most part, it's minor stuff. Like, for example, your team was in there, they were painting, they missed a spot. Or your craftsmen were installing cabinets in the kitchen, they didn't see the crack in the back. These things can be typically easily diffused by sending your team in to fix it. But hey, it's always great to know that a company has got your back on the web, because you can never remove a negative comment off of the internet. So let's talk about the 4 buckets of marketing. You've probably heard of this in the past, but essentially it's lead generation, conversion, production, and profitability. So let's talk about kind of the big area of focus these days, which is internet marketing. Internet marketing is very predominant. You got to be on multiple directories these days. The average millennial will go anywhere between 4 to 6 portals just before they even pick up the phone for a product or service. So it's very important that we dominate the web and we do it very effectively for you. We pretty much do all of this for you. The first area of focus is called search engine optimization, and that's basically the fancy term for getting a business to the first page of Google organically. So essentially, whenever your customers are searching, anything related to home improvement or remodeling in your area, you want your business of Handyman Connection to show up on the first page. So we own about 280 keywords in Google that actually assist you to do just that. We also are going to help to, and again, that's the number one reason why you need to have a commercial space. One of the major reasons you need to have a commercial space. Next element is social media. Very, very powerful marketing tool for you. So we're going to create content for you and pictures and reviews all over social media, Facebook and Twitter. We're also going to create 2 additional portals for you called Porch and House. If you haven't heard of these portals before, they're basically portals where customers go to look at before and after pictures, to look at remodeling projects in the home. The days when customers went to Home and Gardens magazine, that still exists, but predominantly customers are all going to the web. So that's how we client acquisition and get in touch with our customers these days, is by being on multiple directories. Again, Porch and House is just another way for your customers to be able to find you. We're also affiliated very strategically with 2 major lead generators for us called Home Advisor and Angie's List. I'm sure you've heard of either of these. Home Advisor actually just purchased Angie's List, so they've really combined resources, and we were the first to ever advertise on Angie's List. So pretty exciting. Part of your royalties is a 3% brand development fund, which my VP of Marketing actually manages. And as a result, we're able to purchase our presence on these lead generators through what we call economy of scale, which means we get a really nice national marketing discount. So if you think about it, some of your royalties are actually coming back to you in a sense to really help us maximize those campaigns. So I'm going to table internet marketing for just a second. We also do a little bit of pay-per-click advertising. Pay-per-click advertising, if you're not familiar with what it is, it's basically if you look up something in Google and you see those ads at the top and right-hand side of the search engine, those are companies that actually paid to be on the first page, so they're not organic. And essentially, they're not as effective either. And it is more expensive. But we still do a little bit of that. But again, organic ranking is the number one focus, because 72% of people are never going to go to the second page, and 80% of people don't click on the pay-per-click. It's just kind of the algorithms of how people navigate the web and their search engines. So we're very adhering to that, and really help you maximize your campaigns and really help maximize your company's exposure. So let's just table internet marketing for just a second and segue over to a little bit of your role as the executive face of the business in the community. So we are certainly not asking you to pound the pavement and go find customers. We're going to help you with your predominantly almost all of your customer acquisition. But it is important, even though you're really dominating the web, it's still important in business to have face-to-face contact and relationship building. So what we suggest our owners to do is to create a little bit of brand awareness out there. So the best way to do that is to attend a home show once a year. And a home show is basically a big convention hall where they invite every company from soup to nuts when it has to do with a home. So sink people, floor people, bathtub people, faucet people, you name it, they're there. And so we provide you the booth free of charge. So we ship it to you for free, and you go to the home show, and basically your role as the owner is just to simply hold a cup of coffee or a bottle of water and shake hands and meet your community and just create that brand awareness. However, home shows can generate a lot of business for you. I actually had an owner in Texas over a weekend generated $60,000 worth of business. But again, for the most part, the home show is for you to meet your community. It's also great to become affiliated with a local networking group called Business Networking International. It's called BNI. And what's unique about them is they actually require only business owners to be a part of their group. And they also have another requirement where you actually, only one person per industry can be represented in a meeting. So that means no one's going to be in a meeting with them representing your space. And so that's really nice because you talk about your business. You're, again, brand awareness, right? You're getting to know other business owners in your community. Even though they're in other industries, it's still nice support for you. It's also great because they all have customers and books of clients that probably own homes. So again, it's brand awareness and you getting to know your community and really helping to cultivate that you're the #1 person for all of the community's, home improvement needs. And then it's always good to kind of keep your ear to the ground and find out who your local real estate agents are, especially the ones that are doing very well, kind of your top agents, if you will. Take them out to lunch, take them out to dinner. Really, really important, and you'll get a high return from doing that. Realtors will often, first of all, what do realtors want to do? They want to sell homes, and they want to sell them fast. So if Uncle Ted's been smoking in the home for 60 years, and now he's selling the home, a realtor calls you up, smells like an ashtray, asks you to send your team in, put a couple coats of paint, freshen it up. You better believe that home will probably sell better and faster as a result of that, and that realtor will be calling you back again. So realtors can be a very strong referral source for you. And also sometimes realtors will actually sacrifice a portion of their commissions to make a home more sell ready. So again, realtors can be very strong referral sources for you and also can help you cultivate the brand awareness. Also, credit unions, lending institutions, commercial real estate, property owners, all very strategic in helping you cultivate brand awareness. And also, they're looking for a reliable company to be able to refer their customers to. So, bagels, Starbucks, lunch, coffee, tea, whatever you want to do to get in the door. Believe me, it's not going to take much, and they're going to probably be pretty happy that you're around. So actually pretty nice part of the owner's kind of role in the business, and you get ready to be a very integral part of your community and meet a lot of friends and have a lot of connections, and it can be a pretty nice thing. So we do get businesses to the first page of Google. I want to show you a couple examples of that. I also want to show you some examples of some marketing tools that we send out as well, all done for you automatically. So this is an example of a newsletter we send out. We also send out email drip campaigns, and the whole purpose is top of mind focus. So essentially, like I said earlier, the average customer has between 8 and 10 things they need done in the home at all times. Well, we want to remind them to get that to-do list done. And so we're going to send these out for you automatically on a bi-monthly basis to again, just to bring that top of mind focus to your customers and remind them to get their to-do list done. This is one of my franchisees in Winchester, Virginia. Just want to show you an example that they're on the first page of Google. This is another one in Springdale, Arkansas. Both of them are doing very well. You can speak to them during validation if you like. Again, just want to show you that we do get the business to that first page. We're also going to build your website for you. We are both computer and mobile optimized. We also have a national page. So if your customers happen to be in your demographic on our national page, all they got to do is drill down, put in their zip code. They'll be able to find you very easily. Also, if they're on any kind of an HGTV or DIY site, which are both national sites, they can simply be able to put their zip code in, and if they're in your area, they will find you very easily. Once they do find you, this is a little sneak peek of our technology. The lead will come into your website and then will automatically be put into your CRM system. You might want to write this down as well. This acronym stands for Customer Relationship Management System. It's basically your client database. It's kind of the heart and soul of your business. All of your customer information, all the jobs that you've done, all the money that you've collected, your craftsmen skill sets are all in your CRM system. CRM system is connected to and speaks to all my other connecting platforms. It is proprietary to Handyman Connection. It was built specifically for us by Microsoft Dynamics, and we spent about $400,000 in the latter part of 2016 upgrading it. So really proud of our CRM. Once you learn to navigate it, it becomes literally the heart and soul of your business, and you spend a lot of time in CRM, and it's really helpful, extremely helpful tool to running your business efficiently. Okay, so lead comes in automatically to your CRM. We will build your website again for you. Again, pictures, reviews, so once people get on your page, they can really dig in. And speaking of reviews, we are a huge proponent in having our customers write reviews. You want customers putting reviews as much as possible in your community and as many portals as possible. So this one is out of Google+. We also have Yelp, House, Porch, which I'll show you in a moment. So I'm going to read to you a couple of these reviews, and I wanted you to be able to establish a theme here that I want to really point out in these reviews after I read them to you. So the first one says, Destin came out to bid in a small job in our daughter's room. He did a great job in a timely manner, and the final cost was actually less than the original bid. I will be contacting them soon for a couple of other bids to do some updating in her room. Last one says, Brian has been to our house twice. First to move a light switch and second to install can lights in the basement. He was very professional in his work with a very positive attitude and good customer service. I would not hesitate to have him do more work for me, Barney. So what I really want you to recognize is the theme here is repeat business. These customers are coming back. Okay, remember we have that very high percentage of repeat and referral business that is projected the second year in business for our owners. Okay, so this is Mike Savignano. He is a franchisee of ours out of Wheaton, Illinois. He's doing really well. He's only 31 years old, and I can tell you that because I know he doesn't mind. And this is an example of his house page that we built for him. Remember, another way for your customers to be able to find you. We actually have a couple young franchisees that are doing really well. We have Mike, and then we have a 28-year-old in Raleigh. So in your due diligence during validation, you could be able to speak to either of them. Again, very proud of our couple younger franchisees that we have. All right, so this is articles and tips and newsletters that we send out to customers on that bi-monthly basis, so that remember top of mind focus, okay? So again, reminding them to get that to-do list done. This is Mike, the guy you just saw. This is an example of an $8,000 kitchen remodel that he actually saved the customer $8,000. So let me rephrase. It was not an $8,000 kitchen remodel. He saved the customer $8,000 on this kitchen remodel, and because of that, the customer actually plastered it all over Facebook, and he was able to get a lot of business as a result of that. So again, social media, very, very powerful tool for marketing for you. So Angie's List, we're going to partner you up with a great coach at Angie's List to teach you best practices. Remember, Angie's List and Home Advisor are two major lead generation portals for us. We also have a really big presence on Yelp, which is actually no longer a restaurant review portal. It's actually a portal for many other products and services. And essentially, if a millennial doesn't see you on Yelp these days, they're just going to X you out right away as a non-credible business. So really important that we have a huge presence on Yelp as well. So basically, we're going to take all of these tools for marketing, and we are going to do what is called target market penetration. So we're not going to market to 100,000 households. It's just not cost effective because number one, you really wouldn't be able to handle the amount of business coming at you for 100,000 homes, and essentially it just wouldn't be cost effective for you. So we do what is called target market penetration of 10,000 homes at a time. And basically when you penetrated those 10,000, then we go to the next 10,000. And that's what helps maximize your marketing dollars. We're always looking to really utilize your marketing budget, which, by the way, this is also a good thing to write down. Your marketing budget is between 10 and 15% your first year. But we're always looking to maximize those dollars of that marketing budget and utilize them effectively for you. So this is an example of a newsletter as well that we will send out. Remember, top of mind focus. If a customer hasn't done business with you in 8 months or more, they receive a coupon or a call to action. We also do, like I kind of just referred to, we do a complete marketing analysis, which means we are going to know who's clicking on what, when, and where. We use Google Analytics, and basically we can actually tweak areas of your marketing that are generating more business and effectively bringing you more business to your market because of that. Again, also maximizing those marketing dollars. This is some of our branding that we utilize to send out your email drip campaigns I was referring to. Our colors are the yellow, blue, and white, which brings me to some email drip campaigns. So let's take a look at this. The first one says, thank you for submitting your project. Here's your confirmation. The second one says, a couple of weeks ago, we received your home improvement project request, and we'd like to encourage you to schedule your appointment today and receive your discount of $50 off any project over $250. Next one says, we've noticed it's been a while since we've helped around your house, and we want to remind you that we are available for any of your home service needs. Okay, so again, top of mind focus. Once a job is closed out in your CRM, and I just told you what the CRM was, once it is closed out, then customers automatically receive a thank you email. That thank you email will have links so that they can click on it and write reviews. Again, huge proponent of our customers writing reviews. So this is an example of some of the marketing and branding that is available to you as a lifetime franchisee of ours. Again, we're kind of a one-stop shop for you. So vehicle magnet signs, yard signs, postcards, and stationery will all be available to you. You are not buying your craftsmen vehicles. They will actually put a vehicle magnet sign on their car, truck, or van, whatever they're driving, and that way they will be effectively branded for you when they're out in the community doing jobs. This is the portal where you're going to actually purchase your marketing material and take advantage of the franchise you invested in. We're a one-stop shop. We have a lot of, if you outsource these things with your business, it'd be a lot more expensive. We have a lot of resources that could be a lot more cost-effective for you. So we actually have an in-house graphic designer that can create anything in addition to what you may need. So let's say you're going to go to an event in your area and you'd like to bring a banner to promote brand awareness with the logo and essentially some content may be applicable to the organization or the event you're going to. Again, we have that in-house graphic designer that can create anything in addition to what you may need. May, for example, is National Home Improvement Month, where we actually gave a portion of proceeds for completed jobs to Habitat for Humanity, which is a charity organization. We like to give back. You can choose to give back in your community. We don't mandate it, but it's always nice to give back, and we certainly do that as an organization. We have 2 booths for you to choose from to go do your home show. I believe a third is going to be implemented soon for you to choose from and basically reserve it a little ahead of time, and then you can go do your home show effectively. Let's talk about wrapped vehicles. So 3 months into the launch of your business, it's required for you to have a wrapped vehicle. We are not asking you to go out and buy vehicles. We actually want you to run as lean as possible and really be cost effective your first year and really focus on your profitability, get used to your expenditures, go through your learning curve. And again, we do not want you to buy vehicles. So there's 2 ways to do this. And this wrap is included in the marketing budget I told you about earlier, and it is extremely effective marketing tool as well. So we will wrap anything existing you have, from a smart car to a pickup truck. It does not have to be a van or SUV or a truck. And essentially, if you say, you know, Tara, you're not wrapping my Lexus in the driveway, I get that from time to time. We do have a low-cost lease program. So for a pretty reasonable amount of a lease, you can actually lease a vehicle, and they will include the cost of the wrap amortized over the lease payments. So that could be second option number 2. But obviously, you know, wrapping something as existing is the best way to go if you can. And remember, it preserves the vehicle and it can be removed. So think about that when you're considering your wrap vehicles. Now, essentially, the projection here is for that the person that is actually giving the customer the nice estimate. We have a very slick and sophisticated estimating software system. So essentially, the person delivering the estimate, which in the beginning will be yourself, and then when you're ready from a profitability standpoint, you'll hire a service advisor to take over that role for you. So the way it works is essentially approximately every job south of around $1,500 is what we call reactionary handyman work. That doesn't need to have a fancy estimate. Your craftsman will actually bid out and take care of that for you. So customers don't need fancy estimates for water heater repairs or garbage disposals, for example. But when you start to get north, of around $1,500, that's when customers do need to have a nice estimate. And that's when the person who arrives to do that nice estimate in the beginning is you, and then your service advisor in the future should show up in the wrapped vehicle. Okay, and we will talk about the estimating software system in part 2, and we'll talk a lot more about estimating in part 2 as well. So you cannot manage what you don't measure. So we're very big on tracking everything, and we teach you how to take a look at this stuff so at any time you can always see how your business is doing at all times. So your marketing lead plan and your marketing budget actually tracks what we call your annual financial plan, which you'll go over with my CFO, Rhonda, who is awesome, by the way. And she'll help you understand really how the business is doing. And then we also have what we call RAG reports. We have your key performance indicators numbers in there, so you can always, again, be able to see how the business is doing at all times, right at your fingertips at any time. And then we also, again, do some significant, even more marketing analytics to support where is your business coming from, what areas of your marketing, and how much business have you done, and down to the dollar, and where did that business come from, what area of your marketing. So again, we can, again, be able to tweak areas that are generating that more attention in getting you more business. So always, always, always looking to effectively utilize your marketing dollars. So I keep speaking about repeat and referral business on the residential side. We also do a significant amount on the commercial side. So want to be able to show that to you as well. Again, it's just about exercising good decisions when taking on a commercial project. We also do data analytics. So we're going to be able to understand what areas of your business or what projects or jobs are you doing more of. So for example, Mike, the guy that you saw earlier, one of our owners in Wheaton, Illinois, he actually came from College Pro Painters. He actually has never worked for a boss in his life, and he likes painting jobs. So about 20% of his business is painting jobs. You may like to look at this often. You may like to look at this hardly ever, or you may like to look at this once a month. Again, it's for us to be able to understand and always track the business. So we're certainly not your boss, but we're there to coach you. And so we like to kind of understand how the business is doing at all times. So in finishing up today for part one, we're going to talk lastly about the call center and your CSR. So let's talk about the call center first. The call center is there to significantly save you money in overhead. They're there to handle all of the influx of overflow of inbound calls for you, uncover the customer's need, and actually schedule appointments for you based on the schedule in your CRM system. They can actually see the schedule in your system, and they will make appointments for you along with estimating appointments for you. But your CSR, your customer service representative, will also manage those appointments and be able to help facilitate the streamlined process of an efficient day, okay? And CSRs, customer service representatives, make anywhere between $10 and $15 an hour. Maybe you upgrade them to $18, and after a year, make them an office manager. That's up to you. But essentially, the call center actually significantly saves you money. So the call center is designed to have different packages to support the growth of the business and the flow of how of the business and the needs of the business. Now, even if you were able to choose eventually the most expensive package in the call center, it is still going to be significantly less than having an extra employee. Employees are right around $30,000 to $35,000 a piece. You get the idea. So definitely want to be able to utilize the call center to save you money. The call center starts at only about $225 a week. So a very, very, very cost-effective tool for you in running the business. Again, they're out of Charleston, South Carolina. So let's talk about lastly the CSR, and then we'll wrap up today for part one. The CSR is going to use two scheduling portions of your CRM system. Okay, the CSR is usually predominantly a female in the industry, could be a male. But this actually, it's always kind of suggested that you get a couple monitors. They're inexpensive for your CSR, so that this person can toggle between these two scheduling sections of your CRM. The first one is going to be for your customers. So all of these boxes and colors are all associated with jobs in the customer site. This one is associated with your craftsmen. What craftsmen are going to what job? And the system is getting real-time data from our mobile platform, which we'll talk about in part two. All of our craftsmen do need to have a smartphone to be hired with Handyman Connection. And so all of these colors and boxes all mean something, and they consistently update. So in this particular one, if you look at one of the boxes with the little black truck in the upper left-hand corner, that's actually telling your CSR that the craftsman has not yet left for the job. So essentially, some days run really smooth, and some days do not. Sometimes things do arise. So let me give you a couple examples to help you understand the very strategic role of your CSR. Your CSR is there to strategically map out your craftsman's day and essentially move those chess pieces around when necessary to be able to help the flow of the day. Again, it's all about customer experience. So let's say your craftsman Joe is laying tile in the bathroom and he notices a leak. He calls up your CSR. He says, there's no way I can leave the customer's site like this. I need an extra hour and a half. And your CSR will then go into the system, say, no problem, Joe, move things around when necessary, call up the customer, tell the next customer a different craftsman is coming. Again, keep the day running smooth, keep efficiency flowing and on-time rates flowing. We want to be on time for customers. We don't want anything deviating that. Let me give you another example. You have Joe now. He's in an elderly customer's home. He is fixing the dishwasher. Customer loves him, feels very comfortable with him, wants him to stay the rest of the day. They have 5 other projects for him to do. This can happen more often than you'd think. Again, Joe calls up your CSR, requests to stay for the rest of the day. CSR will respond in 2 different ways, logically. Sure, you can stay, no problem, Joe. I'll rearrange some things around. Or no, you're going to have to reschedule Mrs. Smith for Friday. Your CSR is very, very effective in your office for running the day-to-day. I have been in offices where everybody's out in the field, including the owner. That CSR is there driving the day. They also can help you with your, craftsman recruiting in the beginning. They can assist you with your filing, your QuickBooks on their downtime. Again, really effective employee. They are a 40-hour-a-week employee, and they're suggested to be hired right away out of training. So this is the end of part 1. I'm actually going to end